What is going on YouTube? Hayden back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, as well as an article posted by the Federal Registrar, I believe, which is pretty interesting. Or sorry, the Federal Register, the Daily Journal of the United States government. Some very interesting, crazy stuff. Very interesting to see the United States government talking about Ripple XRP. So we're going to jump into that. We're going to dive into that as well as obviously continue off on the technical analysis where we left off in our previous video. As you guys can see right here, this was yesterday's video, doing quite well. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, turn on post notifications, leave a giant thumbs up, and let's jump into today's video. So before I begin, I know the video is coming out very late today. The reason being is because I left super early this morning, 6 a.m. to drive home from college. I'm currently on a break, mid-semester break. So from first semester into the spring semester, we get a break now. So I will be home now in my actual studio recording videos for you guys, editing, making everything come to life and come together. So please do, bear with me as I set things up. I only have about a month and a half, so it's not much time, but with that comes many videos, and I will be showing you guys the awesome setup that I have here. So apologize for the video coming out late, apologize if I'm a little groggy, but though that is the main reason. It's about a 6.5 to 8 hour drive from Rochester to Long Island. Otherwise, to jump into the video, because I know that's what you guys want to discuss. So yeah, we left off yesterday with a technical analysis in regards to an imminent explosive rise for XRP, Ripple, and Bitcoin, and we compared the Bitcoin to the XRP chart that I want to spend some time today discussing as well, both those cryptos as well as Litecoin and Ethereum, because I know I keep forgetting to discuss them, but I do mention them in the video. But more specifically, I wanted to show you guys a very interesting thing here. I actually saw this floating around on the news. If you search XRP news, it'll pop up. But more specifically, I also saw it by you guys leaving comments, which is a huge support. Thank you for sharing the news with me. So obviously we have here the Federal Register, the Daily Journal of the United States government. Remittance transfers under the Electronic Fund Transfer Act Regulation E. Very interesting. So if I click Command F, we can actually search for certain keywords. I don't think Bitcoin comes up, no, but we do have Ripple, and that's what I found quite interesting. So you can see right here what it says is basically the continued growth of fintech non-bank remittance transfer providers and their further expansion into partnerships and other relationships with bank and credit unions, which allows such entities to tap into closed network payment systems that non-bank remittance transfer providers have developed, and the continued growth and expanding partnerships of virtual currency companies such as Ripple, obviously, which offer both a payment messaging platform to support cross-border money transfers as well as proprietary virtual currency, XRP, which can be used to affect settlement of those transfers. Quite interesting if you ask me. Very odd that comes up, but they're making some pretty big headlines, some pretty big waves, especially working within the federal government. I mean, it's obviously brought up so many times, and I'm going to bring it up again, but I'm still a little confused as to why a coin like this is getting really deep into the big banking systems. It's a little confusing to me. I understand Ripple and XRP. I understand the differences. I understand one is a traded coin, and Ripple, the company as a whole, is going after big partnerships, big banks. I understand that, but as a company as a whole, it's a weird thing that they're using the blockchain and how crypto is supposed to be decentralized and to go steer away from the banks, and XRP goes in there. So if you guys can clarify that and give me more of your opinions on that down in the comments, I'd appreciate that. I'd appreciate a good read. But otherwise, you can see right here, where did we discuss? So the Bureau also believes that expanded adoption of Swift's GPI product or Ripple's suite of products could similarly allow banks and credit unions to know the exact final amount that recipients of remittance transfers will receive before they send the transfer, which is interesting too. That shows you the news. And then you can see CEG press release, Ripple announces strategic partnership with money transfer giant MoneyGram. As we know, this is it right here. US Bank on RippleNet FinTech, So let's click this. Leaving, do not show this again, continue. Let's bring this over now to the big money transfer. So it's bringing this, it's a direct link from the federal government right over to the Ripple website, which it shows there's obviously a partnership with MoneyGram, which we know about. I always thought MoneyGram was small, but I guess I am totally mistaken. MoneyGram is a multi-million dollar company, which blows my mind, but it's talking about how XRP remains the most efficient digital asset for settlement with transaction fees as just a fractions of a penny compared to the other digital asset fees of about $30 per transactions, which is massive. But I understand because I've actually received international payments from tons of different companies. And yeah, it is quite the interesting thing. Chase charges you $15 per transfer, international transfer, which is a fortune $15, and it takes it from you. So if I sent you $500, they're going to take it out of yours, so you'll only receive $485, which is quite interesting. Definitely share me, let me know if you've ever been international. It's not a wire, I mean it is a wire transfer, but international, it's pretty crazy using I believe it's the Swift code, which is all in all pretty wild. But to jump into the technical analysis, we will be talking about, obviously, the continuation of this imminent explosive rise for XRP, Ripple, and Bitcoin. Once again, thank you for everybody subscribing to the channel. I want to continue off from where we left off with this major move, what I'm discussing. I feel like a lot of people are jumping to conclusions before watching the video to the end, and I feel like, they're missing out. But in regards to the video yesterday, we were discussing that there is going to be this potential retracement in the market and then inevitably a movement to the upside. Ripple XRP does follow Bitcoin, so that's something that we have to consider. Now, for those of you who want to see Litecoin and Ethereum, if you haven't noticed, almost look identical. I mean, if I just extend this upwards like this, you can see they're pretty much very similar. Litecoin, Ethereum. Litecoin, Ethereum. They're almost identical in the way they're trending. They're in a major descending fractal. They're trending down. They're borderline oversold. So they're just consolidating sideways, which seems like they're both doing. And they're really not showing much movement. They've been in this downtrend for the longest time. So we're really waiting for that correction and that break to the upside ultimately to see some volume come back into the market. I think they're both going to break out the second we see movement within Bitcoin too. It's just going to be a waiting game right now. I think Bitcoin's going to pretty much be the spark and ignite the movement within all of the cryptocurrency. We just have to be fairly patient with it. So to continue where we left off, we were anticipating, I can just jump into the daily and then we'll jump into XRP in a second. But you can see, for those of you who are new, like I said, we did take the previous pattern, the previous 2017 bull run, transferred this over on top of the 2019 bull run that we had, all the way up to $13,000. And then you can see this is pretty much what we're seeing right now. So you can see we have a drop, which ultimately ends right there, a 30% drop. We have consolidation for about 80 days, an all-time high, a high for 2020, which is in May, right before the halving, or about the same time as the Bitcoin halving. So ultimately, to zoom in now, you can see what we're anticipating is this big drop right here. We're anticipating a 30% drop on Bitcoin, a 35% drop. It is going to be within the next couple of days because ultimately Bitcoin has, I'd say, about 10 days right now, so a little over a week before we see what could be a major retracement. Obviously, if we break bullish, that would be huge, but there's a ton of factors. The downtrend, the white downtrend, we have the high-low MMA on the 4-hour, I believe also the daily being quite below the daily. We may actually be able to see some support upwards. Obviously, I am anticipating retracement to the downside. If we break bullish, that's even better, but unlikely, so we have to consider that. But for the most part, a retracement is what I'm anticipating, and then we're going to see consolidation, and then as it consolidates, it's inevitably going to start to correct back to the upside. So with that being said, this 30% dip, bringing the coin back down to about $4,600 on Bitcoin would inevitably drop XRP's price. We're going to see a very short-term minor movement, retracing most definitely down to 16 cents. Obviously, I could be wrong. We could see an immediate retracement and a break in pattern up to 30 cents, very possible, and breaking the support that we're holding right now at 20 cents. If we can see a confirmation where the weekly candle closes above this white downtrend that has been on XRP for months, since 2017, honestly, it will ultimately be a benefactor that we're probably going to start a new market cycle and head back up and pretty much head anywhere in between the high, low, middle moving averages. But if the Bitcoin breaks bearish 30%, there is a massive chance we're going to see that same pattern happen within XRP, a 30% drop on XRP, which is kind of odd. It is exactly around 15 to 16 cents. You can see this drop right here is practically a 30% drop. So the same time Bitcoin drops its 30 to 35%, XRP will probably drop 30 to 35%, hitting its resistance right here, ultimately pulling it down to 16 cents. We are clearly hitting resistance here. We're mainly just trending right inside our high-low MMA, probably going to see that retracement though any second now, or any day now, but this is ultimately going to pull XRP down into the 16 cents. We're going to see the consolidation outwards, which on Bitcoin will be a drop. We'll have our consolidation outwards, and then that's the same thing that's going to happen right here, and then we'll inevitably see it break through that. That's the goal, of course. So in regards to, I want a date range, not a price range. So from right where we are, let's see how many days this is. This is about 93 days from Bitcoin. The break happens right here. We stop right around here. And we have, I did a total of 52 days. We can honestly extend this right to here, right to the bottom where we peak out. This is about 32 days, but ultimately from our point of breakout, it's about 50 days. So we're going to have about 50 days of sideways movement before we see any sort of correction. So yeah, it's going to be right around here. So very, very, very close to our point of breakout. So anywhere in this region right here, there's going to be a very high chance, once retested, of course, that we start to correct upwards, and then we'll probably break up quite a bit. So we're honestly just, it's a waiting game right now. We're going to be obviously consolidating, holding on to our finances, getting ready, setting up our shorts and longs, and then when we do short the coin, and then we can also, when it rallies up, we're going to make money off that. I use DueDEX. I feel like a lot of you guys, I've obviously mentioned it many, many, many times, but I can't help but mention it because it's such a great website. It's the first link in the description too if you guys want to download it, or sign up and use it. But basically, this is the only website that I've found that I can short and long cryptocurrency easily. You can buy long, sell short. It looks complicated. It really is not a complicated website. You can actually leverage trade too, so that answers and solves a lot of other issues too with people not having much to invest and play around with. They only invest $100. You can't really make much in crypto, but you can actually leverage trade this 10, 25, 50, 2 times, 3 times, and that extends the amount. So if you have $100 in it, you leverage it 3 times, you're now at $300. You can make quite a bit of profit off if you're using that leverage trade. You can make quite a bit off a small move, and that's what I love. So in reference to that, we're going to be following this retracement, this downtrend, this pullback. This is what we're looking for. This 30% retracement could make us 200% gains based off of leverage trading. That's why I have my DueDEX account. I have my account loaded up. I'm ready. And the second I see the correction start and retrace, I'm going to short the coin. I'll obviously show it on YouTube. And everybody that has me on Patreon will be updated first because they come first. And they'll see that way before YouTube does in regards to when my trend and trades are. If you guys want to check out my Patreon as well, it's the second link in the description. This will give you access to all my TradingView charts, live updates, as well as a way to ask me questions on a day-to-day basis. Otherwise, so we're looking for that consolidation right now. I'm expecting and anticipating XRP to hit 16 cents, Bitcoin to probably retrace back down to about $5,000, $4,600. Consolidation is going to happen, and then we're going to rise up. I'm going to short it on the way down on DueDEX and make a killing, and you guys will be there right with me as everything plays out. And then we'll pretty much take it from there. Otherwise, that's going to wrap up today's episode, guys. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Turn on post notifications. Tons of new things to come as I kind of tweak and edit or change my studio. But that's going to be it, and I'll see you in tomorrow's video. Peace.